Hi, my name is Phoenix, and I'm gonna talk about my coming out story. Well, it's okay, so I've been going to Camp Edie, which is an all girls camp, for like a few years, almost like every summer, and I would usually get obsessed with the camp aides, and they were all girls, obviously. There was Jessica and a bunch, Lisa. They were like 13, 14. I think Jessica was like 17. And there was this one girl named Haley that I liked in camp for like a long time, that I've been going to camp. Not anymore, but like I'll talk about that later on. But I would always I wouldn't admit to myself that I was, gay, but I would constantly talk about her and wouldn't get her off my mind, and it would kind of play with my mind, because in my head I kind of thought, why do I always get obsessed with girls and not with guys? So I just let it go. But in 2011, which is when I was 11 and turning 12 and stuff, I went to my friend Susan's party, and Susan knew a lot of people because she's kind of popular, kind of. So she knew a lot of people. She apparently knew. Well, I knew this kid named Edgar for since fourth grade, but I never knew he had a sister or anything like that. So when I went, I didn't really want to go to the party because I was one of those people who didn't really didn't like to go out places if I didn't know most of the people there. Like, I didn't like meeting a lot of new people because it was like too much for me. But so she invited me to her party, but I decided not to go. So I didn't want to go. So it was that day, the night of the party, which was October 15th, 2011, and I was sitting at my dinner table. I was eating spaghetti or something like that, and I heard a knock at the door. And Susan, at the time, lived a few houses down from me, and so did most of the people that she invited. So I heard a knock on my door, and I ran to the bathroom because I had a feeling that it was probably someone from the party, or Susan, or a lot of people from the party that wanted me to come. So I ran to the bathroom, and I turned off the light because I really didn't want to go. And um, my mom said, "Phoenix, friends at the door." So I went to the door, and there was Daniel, Caitlin, and Susan, and they knocked at the door, and they said, "Do you want to come? Are you coming?" And I got my shoes, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go," because I didn't really want to, be mean and say I didn't want to go. So I got my shoes on, and it was Daniel, Susan, and Caitlin, and we all raced down to her house. And right when I got there, there was some people I knew, this girl named Destiny and a few other people. So I thought to myself, well, it's probably not that bad. So I went in the party, and it was kind of fun. Um, a while in the party, there was uh, I knew most of the people there, like my good guy friends, like Alan, Daniel, which is the guy who came, and a lot of my. Well, actually, I usually only hung out with guys, um, but like I never thought of them that way. So there was this one girl that I never met in my life before. I stood on the slide. It was like later in the party, and I stood up on it, and I'm like, "Who wants to give me a piggyback ride?" And I was really hyper because I had a lot of soda and candy. Um, this girl said, "I will." I didn't know who she was, so I said, "Okay." So I jumped on her back, and right away I felt a connection. Like I definitely knew that we would be like close. That's a long story, but I don't want to get into that. So we started to talk, and my friend Zach came over. Oh, you two met. So we all started to talk. Then she called her brother, which so coincidentally was Edgar, who I've known since fourth grade. And I said, Edgar has a sister? I never knew that. And then Zach's like, yeah, she has two sisters. I mean, he has two sisters. So I'm like, really? So I said, hey, Edgar, on the phone. And me and Edgar, we were good friends in 4th grade and stuff like that. But after 4th grade, we never really talked. He's like, is that Phoenix? So after that, we did start to talk more, me and Edgar. And now we're like best friends. So he knows, well, I'll get into that. So me and Brenda talked a lot. Then at like 9 o'clock, I went home because I stayed for the after party. It wasn't that long. So at 9 o'clock, I went home. I don't remember. Yeah, my mom picked me up. So I said bye to Susan, which was the person who was having the birthday party. And I kind of waved to everybody else, and I went home. Later that night, I went on Facebook, and I sat on the couch with my laptop, and I was talking to Brenda all night on Facebook. Like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Then, 4 days later, like the 19th, October 19th, I sent her a Facebook marriage request because, I for the first time, I actually got close to a girl and kind of liked it. So I sent her the request and she accepted it. So she called me wifey. So we were wifeys for a long time. We got really close. I slept over every weekend. We hung out almost every Tuesday. I guess after a while, we just connected. In December, which was like, yeah, in like December, and I always got to see Edgar, and he's like, oh, I never knew you'd be able to sleep over at my house because, I've known you for so long, and now you're sleeping over, and stuff like that. I actually started to have a crush on Brenda, and it was the first time that I actually was sure of myself being gay. Like, I knew, definitely, that I had to admit it to myself. At first, I said, oh, I'm bi, but I realized I wasn't attracted to guys that way. So, I thought the only choice left was that I was gay. So, I've it was this one day on New Year's. Since I went to Brenda's all the time, I was there for Christmas, I was there for New Year's, and on New Year's, we went to this party at Destiny's house, but Destiny and Brenda used to be next door neighbors. So, when we went back to Brenda's house at like 10, she had a bunch of people over. At like 2 o'clock in the morning, me, Edgar, and Brenda were on the bed. We were in the parents' room. We were watching Animal Planet. Everybody else, the party was still going. They had parties lasting till like 6. And there was a bunch of people downstairs, but we were in the room. Lights were off. We're all in our pajamas. No, wait, we weren't in our pajamas yet. So we were just sitting on the bed, and all of a sudden, well, when we were at Destiny's house, there was this thing of alcohol cherries, and like there were cherries, and they were put in alcohol, and they were not for the kids. But Brenda ate one, so she didn't bring any notice to it until 2, and she started to like act drunk, but she wasn't. She was just acting it. So she started saying, "Oh, we're girlfriends now." She kept putting her leg over me. She kept holding my hand. Well, we did that anyway, but she kept like, it made me feel taunted because I knew to myself that I did really feel that way. So at one point, she kept just being crazy. So I took a chance to just get changed into my PJs real quick. So I went into the bathroom. When I came out, she was still acting crazy. So since she was pretending to be my girlfriend, at one point she pushed me against the door and just kissed me. And I really liked it. So we didn't really talk about it that much the rest of the night, but when I went home, she texted me from my iPad on text 3. She's like, I'm sorry again, I didn't mean to. I'm like, it's okay, because I kind of liked it. She said me too. So I thought, okay, I was kind of happy. So then, after a while, she would always tell me, I like it, I want to do it again. And she would always plan for it to happen. It never did, as of this day, which is December of 2012. Never happened again. But I always wanted to. And after a while, my friend Susan's sister is gay too. And I was hanging out with my friend Caitlin one day. We were in the trampoline in my old house because I moved now, but we were in the trampoline and we just started to walk around the block. I texted Bonnie because she was the first person that I thought I should tell because I don't know why, but I felt like I could trust her. So I told her, and she talked to me about it. It's okay, I'm gay too. It's totally okay. No one's gonna hate you. Everybody's gonna love you. Not any less. So, so me and then Caitlin was asking me. After a while, the word started to spread around, and it was true. None of my friends that I've hung out with treated me any differently. Then came the time when I told my mom. I told my aunt first. Now a lot of my family knows. My dad, my stepdad, my mom, my aunt, all of my best friends, 6 people in my new school because I moved, my sister, my special ed brother, but he doesn't really understand, but I told him. So there's a lot of people that know. When word spread around, it finally got to Brenda. She told me she never felt the same way. She started acting weird, but around me. But long story short, it's kind of working out. But it's been 12 months. I currently still have a crush on her. But once I told a lot of people and got it off my chest, I felt much better. I felt honest with myself, and there's nothing to worry about. And if any of you guys who are watching this are gay too, just you can comment or message me on here on YouTube and talk to me about it, because even though she doesn't like me or doesn't feel the same way, it's you have to wait and you have to tell the right people, basically. And it's worth it because people who are really there for you are never going to stop loving you, caring for you, no matter what sexuality you like or what sexuality you are. It doesn't really matter. You're still a human. So that's basically my coming out story. So like, comment, subscribe, but please no hate. If you're not gay, then just don't watch. Just don't say anything because it will make me feel bad. So thank you for watching, and bye.